here. Big names making big plays. No touchdown since week 1. How Peyton helped the Colts all regain their punch and then some. While brother Eli and the G-Men played a St. Louis down shootout with the Rams. Could the Bucs stay perfect in Tampa even with a broken down Cadillac? And did the defending champs have any answer for LaDainian Tomlinson in Foxborough? Eagles special teams early, anything but their offense late was. All that and more coming up on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to NFL Primetime. As always, along with Tom Jackson, we begin October. We were down to just 4 undefeated teams. But one of the stories of the year has to be the New Orleans Saints, who they were finally coming home.
Finally coming home to some extent with quote marks.
And no, you cannot underscore what is going on beyond the football world, and everybody knows what's going on. But finally, after, remember, the end of the preseason, they were on the road. Obviously, we were on the road in the regular season, and now they get to play a game where they actually are now living and practicing, and that would be in the San Antonio's Alamo Dome. And a home crowd. Yeah, we get a warm reception from what was an announced 58,000 fans plus. They're playing the Buffalo Bills. J.P. Lossman play fake, but he overthrows Eric Mould, picked off by Jason Kraft, who sails upfield. Well, see if that sets up an Aaron Brooks touchdown run. Then Terrence McGee, this at the end of the half, Bills special teams, the Saints leading 13-7. Look at the play he makes, and then what? Goes back the other way through about 8 Saints, and he's off to the right.
What a great run. And if you're number 57 here, don't look back. Look ahead. Look in front of you. Go get him a block. Try to get him in.
Oh! The gun goes off, and they don't score. What a great play, though. And as everybody watches from the sideline, including Lossman, oh, my goodness, we could be ahead.
Yeah, you watch the replay. Just watch. Always, if you're a blocker, keep your eyes out front. Guys will show up. Don't worry about where the runner is. He'll find you. And what an unfortunate trip at the end of the half.
Yes, almost. But the story in this was the Saints' defense. Lossman looked all right early, but later on, he was benched in favor of Kelly Holcomb, and the Saints' D was the main reason.
Yeah, you watch Lossman right here. The defense getting at him. Doesn't have the feel of the rush. Ball pops out. At least he had the awareness to bring the ball back to him.
And then the regular 4-3 this time. And look, here they come on a stunt, Tom.
Two plays later, you get the twist coming from outside to inside. Pressure where the quarterback doesn't want it. Right up the middle of the football field in his face.
And here it sums it up. It's 4th and 1 for the Bills. They're still down 13-7. There's 11 minutes to go. They gamble for it near midfield. And Dwight Smith comes up and makes the stick in the backfield. The Saints had a couple of more field goals. You knew that John Carney would have not a hand but a foot in this thing. Actually, Carney with 4 field goals passes Jan Stenerud for 4th all-time on the all-time list. Congratulations to him. And way to go, Saints. They beat the Bills 19-7. Deuce McAllister at 130 yards rushing, and told Ed Werder afterwards it meant a lot to the players to be there.
These fans came out and cheered for us. Early in the game, you could just hear the excitement in them, and, you have to be pleased and proud of it. So, a big thanks goes out to all the fans of San Antonio as well as, New Orleans. But we just want to, give our hats off to the team because they came together and we played hard and, played a complete game.
They will play in San Antonio in 2 weeks from now, and then have 4 home games, if you will, at LSU, and then they'll have Christmas Eve back at San Antonio. So they now get to play 7 of their 16 games at home. And look, people don't even know. I think for a fact that the coaching staff and team officials, it's not only just football stuff trying to get to normal. They're trying to relocate everybody. Remember what is going on. I understand there may be a week or two that they didn't even get a chance to look at film. So for the fact that what the Saints are even doing and putting on a professional and a winning performance in half the time, again, we cannot underscore it. hats off to Jim Haslett and the Saints and the whole organization.
Absolutely. And you talk about family and friends trying to figure out what you're going to do with your family, your children, getting them in school, all the same problems that other evacuees have had to deal with in New Orleans. And I think when you look at this team, you can talk about Deuce McAllister and the stats, but what it's really about is the heart that this ball club is showing. They've now pulled to 2-2. They're playing 500 football, which I don't think anybody would have thought that as this season began. And I think that what they do is they keep the hopes of New Orleans alive as they play on a week-to-week basis. The coverage you may not watch on a day-to-day basis, but certainly every Sunday you're going to watch this football team play, and I think that it kind of reinvigorates the people of New Orleans to see this team play well.
And you know what? We know the offensive players. It was a defensive day and a win for the Saints at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. When we return on NFL Primetime, we have a lot to show you. Eli Manning, you saw him Sunday night. Kind of aerial show what he put on for the G-Men against the Rams. And meanwhile, up the road a piece in Foxborough, the Patriots ran into a buzzsaw in San Diego. It was complete. We'll show you.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American revolution. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Hey, it takes a while for a quarterback to develop, right? Eli Manning, well, you'll see. It's his first full year of starting. How is he going to come along? Also in the news this week for the New York Giants, Plexico Burress missed the whole first quarter last week because he was late to a few meetings with Coach Tom Coughlin. If I had Eli Manning at quarterback, I don't think I'd be late to a darn thing. Take a look at what Manning and the Giants did against the St. Louis Rams. The Meadowlands in a game that featured over 900 yards in total offense. Plexico Burress starting Sunday. All the meetings on time. You start, I'll get it to you. How about that zip? And it's 7-0 G-Men. Giants now on their own 29, still in the first quarter. And Manning with a little play action. And Burress is such a big target. Actually, they got a lot of big targets, Tom. And it's ball underthrown, but Hayes wide open.
And he's outstanding if you scramble out of the pocket, getting behind the defense, giving you a place to throw the ball.
The next play is a reverse to Tim Carter. Eli even going out there, maybe throw a block, kind of, sort of, and Carter gets down to the 3-yard line. Eventually it'll be 4th and goal, and the Giants go for it. Manning to well-dressed Amani Toomer. Didn't have a touchdown catch all last year. Giants wideouts just had 2 all year. Touchdown. And Mike Martz challenges.
He challenged this call. You make the call at home if you think that it was in. I just let you look at it. He certainly looked like he was in.
And the challenge overturned. Timeout lost. Giants, Rams 17. Manning, Burress, touchdown between defenders, 24-7 the Giants. But the Rams do come back. Mark Bolger would throw 62 times today. On the 6-yard line, little whoop! Sean McDonald loses the ball. E-I-E-I-O! It was the pitch and trickery from Steven Jackson. And look, seriously, in the shadows.
Yeah, it's just a play that when you run it down in the red zone is pretty exacting and complicated play to run in that area.
Now, how about this one? Zip to Jeremy Shockey. 31 yards, touchdown. The Giants lead 34-17. They go on to beat the Rams 44-24. And Eli Manning in the game throwing 4 touchdown passes. Leads brother Peyton by the score of 9-6. Plexico caught the ball 10 times. The Rams at 5 turnovers, 11 penalties. Giants 3-0 at home.
Yeah, Giants had great balance today, and Eli Manning coming out party.
Coming out party. Meanwhile, the undefeated Redskins off a bye, 2-0 playing the Seattle Seahawks. Joe Gibbs. His team hasn't been 3-0 since 1991. I think Joe Gibbs was coaching. I think they won the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Mark Brunell to David Patton. Incomplete flag on the play. Oh, boy. Michael Boulware called for what?
Yeah, Michael Boulware comes in. He has as much right to the football as the wide receiver. You're going to see him. He goes over to the ref. He's trying to plead his case, but I just didn't see interference.
Well, it would cost him because Brunell dumps to Mike Sellers. To Sellers Market. 14-3 Redskins. Now, ensuing drive, Seattle second goal to Washington 3. Sean Alexander thought it would be a tough day for him to run against that Skins rushing defense. It's a 14-10 Washington lead. Brunell with a minute to go. Picked off by Kelly Herndon with a vault. Game tied at 17 all. And what a key turnover. Seattle has a chance to win it.
Yeah, put the ball a little outside on Clinton Portis' hands, made him dive for it. Ball tipped up in the air. A lot of times it gets picked off. Tip drill.
Tip drill. First down at the 33 of the Redskins. They go outside Alexander. Picks up 4. They need a little more room. Alexander, oh, no gain. And now kicker Josh Brown goes in the game for a 47-yard attempt. It's long enough. It's high enough. It's deep enough. It's doink. It's no good. It's off the upright. And you gotta go to overtime, in which the Redskins win the toss. And then the stunned Seahawks watch Mark Brunell and the Redskins convert third down after third down after third down to Santana Moss. Zip, 13 yards. 3rd and 9 at their own 37. Brunell scrambling. We remember him.
Yeah, this is a young Mark Brunell. He must be feeling as well as he's felt in years. We've seen him run the first few games of the year, running like the old Mark Brunell.
Brunell, almost picked off by Bryce Fisher at the line. And so the next play is a 3rd down. And Brunell has time, zips it again to Santana Moss. And you know he's got wheels, picks up 30 yards. The Skins in business. And now you remember John Hall is out. So the new kicker, Nick Novak. No problem. Good. 39 yards. And the Redskins, hail to the Redskins. Ooh, 3-0, 91 super. Whatever. They're 3-0, and they beat the Seahawks 20-17, despite the fact that Seattle did gain over 100 yards rushing, first team in 8 games to do that against the Redskins. But Tommy, the Skins, they're winning these tight games, and however they're doing it, they're coming out on top.
It sure looks like Joe Gibbs made the right decision at quarterback, and look at the 3rd down percentage. When you start looking at 3rd down conversion, it's a huge stat in the NFL, and Mark Brunell, Santana Moss and company, unstoppable today. So you had a case where Seattle played, I think, a pretty good football game, just couldn't get them off the field.
Right, Seattle ran it all right, but, well, they're going to. It's a long plane ride home when your winning field goal hits the upright. When we return on NFL Primetime, the Cincinnati Bengals, could they go 4-0? The Bengals, they're playing the Texans at home. They were expected to. And meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, could they go 4-0? They were expected to beat the Lions. What happened?
The Fantasy Ticker, brought to you by Chevy, the new Chevrolets, an American Revolution.
The Cincinnati Bengals haven't gone 4-0 since 1988, their last Super Bowl appearance. And here's Carson, finds T.J. Houshmandzadeh in the end zone, but illegal formation. Rudy Johnson cost the Bengals a touchdown. They have to settle for a field goal. This would be a theme today. Penalties costing them points, and it got them in a little bit of trouble. But Bengals defense against Carson Palmer.
Yeah, and David Carr is always under pressure. And Kevin Casefahan gets the sack there, and then you've got Odell Thurman, the brilliant young rookie middle linebacker, and another rookie, David Pollock out of Georgia, the first-round choice. He comes in and gets a sack. David Carr under pressure the entire day.
7 sacks today. Carr having trouble driving in Cincinnati. Then Carr, though, finds Morin Norris and a 4-yard touchdown pass, and we're tied at 10 late in the 3rd. Now, 3 minutes to go. Here's the big play. Justin Smith gets a hand on Carr as he passes. Ball is ruled a fumble. They took a long time looking at this, Tom.
Yeah, take another look at it. You're going to see Carr's arm is getting hit, appears to be going forward. We freeze it with an arrow. Ball doesn't hit the ground, so it could not have been an interception. It hit the ground. You freeze the ball on the arrow. Play would be reviewed.
Said fumble.
And it would stand.
Said fumble, not incomplete pass. Dom Capers' team had a chance to win it, but the Bengals win 16-10. They got 17 takeaways on the season thus far. The Bengals had 14 penalties for 117 yards. They got 2 centers hurt, but you know what? They won a game they were expected to win, and sometimes that's harder than when you're not expected. You agree with me, Tom?
Absolutely. Playing down the competition and still managing to come out with a win. They're 4-0, and you couldn't be happier if you're a Cincinnati Bengal fan.
So the Bengals go to Jacksonville next Sunday night with a 4-0 mark. Will the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay have a 4-0 mark? Cadillac Williams, the best three-game start in the history of the NFL for any running back as the Bucs host the Lions. But the Lions did a great job. Corey Redding with stacking them up. Williams, 11 carries, 13 yards. Hello. Left the game in the third quarter with a strained hamstring we don't know yet about next week. Meanwhile, this guy was a rookie last year. Pretty impressive. Kevin Jones with an 8-yard blast, Tom. And the Lions in business, leading 10-3.
Yeah, you saw the fullback Paul Smith right there on Derek Brooks, and clears a great hole for Jones to get into the end zone.
Now the Bucs have scored to tie it at 10. 3rd and 10 from their own 20. It's Brian Greasy to Joey Galloway. He always had the wheels, Tom. I wish he would run all 80 yards. Hurry up. But it is a touchdown, 80 yards, and the Bucs lead it 17-10. The Lions have kicked a field goal to make it 17-13 at their own 6, 5 minutes to go. Joey Harrington, who at one point I think was 3 of 5 for 4 yards or something, but out of nowhere, here he comes to Arto's Pinner for 8 yards. Then to Charles Rogers, healthy for 15 yards. 2nd and 7, still at their own 32. Mike Williams, now you see the names that we've seen drafted so high the last couple of years. 4th and 5 from the Bucs 40 with a minute to go. Harrington, Kevin Johnson. All of a sudden, Joey Harrington may define himself here. Harrington steps up, feels it, floats. Oh, what a catch by Roy Williams. Down to the 14 for 14 yards and a first down. 2nd and 1 from the 12. 20 seconds to go. Harrington to Marcus Pollard. And it's a touchdown. It's called a touchdown. A sliding grab, the dunk. But the play reviewed, and boy, was this... What do you think?
When we looked at it in real time, we thought he was out of bounds. You see that shot right there. Looks like he had control, and he was still in bounds.
So they overturned it, Tom, and then almost a touchdown to that side on 3rd down. Mike Williams. But he is out of bounds, and so Harrington feels he's won the game twice. And now on 4th down, 6 seconds to go. Floated. At worst, hope for maybe a flag. But you haven't gotten 2 calls. You're not going to get, plus the ball was too high. They tried. They did try.
Great game.
And the Lions, who seemed stymied most of the game, almost upend the Bucs, but they don't. Tampa Bay at the new sombrero. 4-0 for the first time since 1997. Greasy threw for 302, but was picked off 3 times, so it was in and out. But the Bucs, you know what? The Bucs have first of all, they've clinched the NFC North division. They've beaten Green Bay. They've beaten Minnesota. Now they beat Detroit. That's their old division. We're just joking around here because here's Detroit. They lose, and they stay in first place. Tampa Bay, well, this time they had to win it without their big running back, the formula they won.
I use your same theory. You're at home playing a game that you feel that you should win. You don't get an outstanding game from the quarterback. He throws 3 interceptions. You don't get the outstanding game from your runner, Cadillac Williams, but you manage somehow to make enough plays to come out with a win. That's going to be the thing that they'll take away from this game. We didn't play our best football. We've got a lot of things to build on. Coaches love to be able to say that when they walk into the meeting room on Monday. You can see how far behind we are in terms of where we want to be, but we still won the football game and we're undefeated. So Bengals, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a lot of things in common.
You know, and the Bucs are in there with the division with Atlanta playing so well, and the Saints are back to 2-2. Meanwhile, so last week Detroit was idle, and they moved into first in the NFC North. Today, Chicago was idle, and they moved into first place in the NFC North. If you don't play in that division, you've got a heck of a chance to make the playoffs. Bucs 4-0. When we return, something sounds like the Swamp's going to talk about that this week. When we return, the Patriots had their hands full and then some with the lightning bolts. LT making a statement, and the Chiefs were all over the Eagles, but then they played the second half. What a comeback we've got to show you. Visa Skycam takes you to Mexico City Sunday Night Football. There could be 100,000 folks watching Los 49, the 49ers against Los Cardenales, the Cardinals, at the bottom of the hour. Mike Shanahan's Denver Broncos so impressive Monday night at home, now in Jacksonville, hoping to go to 3-1. Jake Plummer. Now, Dwayne Carswell was a blocking tight end. He caught 13 touchdown passes when he's a tight end. Now he's a tackle, Tom, and he's a pass-catching tackle.
Yeah, but lined up as a tight end, first time outside, second time inside, so still ability to catch the ball, just added 50 pounds.
Two touchdowns for a tackle. Byron Leftwich team down 14-0. Boy, Jimmy Smith made a circus catch on the sidelines in this game, and he also made this touchdown. He's still going strong. It's now 14-7. Could Jacksonville get back into another game late? But they couldn't run, Tommy.
Well, you look here. Fred Taylor stuffed at the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard gain. Then in the fourth quarter again, he tries to bounce it out. There's absolutely no room. Bronco defensive front playing awfully well right about now. And then Champ Bailey had this conversation with Dominique Foxworth, defensive back for the Broncos, just before he makes this play.
Well, and he obviously played 99 straight games, didn't play this one, but it rubbed off on Dominique Foxworth. Leftwich picked off. Denver wins 20-7. Jacksonville, 11 carries, 12 yards. Denver carried for 188 yards. Mike Anderson had the 100-yard game, and we made the point this morning. Denver, this is their only road game in a 5-game span. They really could get up ahead of steam here with the way the schedule is tonight.
Absolutely. Scheduling in their favor and running the football the last few weeks, really establishing the thing that they do the best.
All right, and so that division, we know the AFC West can be very, very tough because even when the teams lose, you know, they're not going to lose forever like the San Diego Chargers looked so good last week. Lose. The New England Patriots never lose. They won 21 straight games at home. And into town came San Diego. Pittsburgh off that win over the Steelers. The Chargers hadn't won at the Patriots since they were the Boston Patriots in 1970 at Havard Stadium. This is our prime cut. And Drew Brees had such a breakout year last year for San Diego. The Patriots, they have a breakout year every year. Here they come running out. Tom Brady to Corey Dillon. They're so good at these swing passes, Tom, these screens. And Dillon on a 23-yard pickup in the first quarter. Same drive, and now we're first and goal from the 1. And, boy, inside the penalty area, they're hard to stop on the penalty kick. Dillon pounds it in, and it's 7-3 Patriots. But Drew Brees to Antonio Gates. What a combination this is. And remember, Rodney Harrison out. Something that Tommy's going to point out here, and maybe that other opponents will certainly look at. This time, Brees to Keenan McCardell. Back to the end zone. He had time. 11-yard touchdown, 10-7. Lightning bolts. 2nd and 1 New England. Later in the quarter, Brady to former Charger Tim Dwight. Still fast. 30-yard touchdown, and you figured, okay, typical game, right? 14-10 New England. Under 3 minutes to go, LaDainian Tomlinson. Oh, he's not that big, right? You tell me. And when we do that for Bettis and Allstott, not for the best back in the league, this guy's so swift.
Yeah,
look at the power.
He's got that low center of gravity. The legs are grinding and chopping when he has the football. Here, Brady takes a little bit of offense to being hit what he perceived to be after the play. Boy, he's a competitor.
Yes, he is. So Brady trying to get the Patriots fired up. And he would look to one of his money men through the years, Troy Brown. Incomplete. 2nd and goal on this drive from the 6. Looking at David Gibbons. Remember Brady 12 for 12 in the fourth quarter last week. That's sales. And then on 3rd down, Brown, Deion Branch. Who's open? Oh! Neither. And Vinatieri kicks a field goal. He actually missed one early in the game. 17 all. 3rd quarter. Drew Brees rolling. Time. Fires. Antonio Gates, hello. 38 yards. Tomlinson pounds it in from there. 16 straight games. He's had a rushing touchdown, at least one. And now Michael Turner looking very Ike and Tina-like on this play. Man, oh man, some tough yards. 18 to be exact. Later in the drive, 3rd and 7. Brees. Plenty of time. Reshae Caldwell. Touchdown. The Chargers are up by 2 touchdowns in Foxborough. It would get more. No one expected a game like this for the Patriots. Bowju makes the pick, and Brady and the Patriots fall at home. 41-17. San Diego, we took that 21-game winning streak at home. Snapped. Last loss December 22nd, 0-2 against the New York Football Jets. 134 yards rushing for LT, 183 for the team. Tom Brady afterwards said, "We're not used to playing like this."
you go back to work. You go back to work. There's 12 games left, and no game is more important than the one we got coming up this week. We're going to go out to practice this week, get back to work tomorrow, and like I said, try to go out and correct our mistakes because it's not going to get any easier. And, like I said, you play good teams and you play poorly, you lose. And I think that's what happened today. San Diego played the game very, as well as they could have, and we didn't. And, you look back at the end, and 41-17, it's not very pretty.
Well, and he knows that better than all of us. At Atlanta and then at Denver next for New England before they have a bye. We haven't even talked about the Monday Nighter coming up next month against Indianapolis. Quick comment on San Diego, and then we'll look at New England. They came in, to me, it looked like a team that expected to play well and win in there. You go in and expect to play well, but you're not sure if you can win against New England. This was very impressive, San Diego, Tom.
Yeah,
what about the facts?
Yeah. I think that if you have the confidence San Diego had, you do expect to win. But it was a matter of breakdowns, especially on the defensive side of the football. And that's our extra point tonight. You're talking about fundamentals. And we're going to take a look at this first play. LaDainian Tomlinson is going to take a handoff. You're going to see both middle linebackers, the inside backers, Chad Brown and Monty Beisel, in a good position initially to make a play. They get pushed outside of the lane that LT wants to run in, can't make the play. Willie McGinnis in good shape to get a jam right there on Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, great move at the line of scrimmage. Once he gets by, he's one-on-one with Chad Brown. That is a mismatch for any linebacker in this league. The thing that they do best, fundamentally, I think, is jam people at the line of scrimmage and stop them from running their routes unimpeded. Again, look at your two linebackers. This would be where their extraordinary guys were, Brewski and Teddy Johnson. Now it's Chad Brown and it's Beisler. They're feeling their way around. And here's a look again. Look at the time. Used to that pass rush from the New England Patriots. Not there. Drew Brees, plenty of time to look, find a receiver, throw to the end zone. So I think that the one thing we have not gotten used to seeing with this football team is breakdowns and fundamentals from the New England Patriots. But if it happens to you, whether it's home, whether it's away, whoever the opponent is, you're going to suffer the consequences. So this is a big challenge for Coach Belichick to shore this up as they get ready, in fact, for their road to get a little bit tougher.
Right, and they're not home again until Halloween weekend. The area that's not injured is that front wall, Richard Seymour and company, absolutely. All right? So you know better than I, a huge pass rush could make the back seven or back, however you want to play it, look a lot different. They didn't have the huge pass rush. Credit the Chargers in a runaway, as it turns out. When we return, Peyton Manning. Well, we showed you the day Eli had Howard Payton. Oh, yeah, the struggling Colts offense, don't you worry. And Eagles and Chiefs. Eagles, dismal early. Chiefs at Arrowhead are so tough to beat. Would they finish the job?
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected.
The undefeated and 3-0 Indianapolis Colts, Marvin Harrison and company, Peyton Manning in Tennessee. They've had some great battles, but this time Tennessee's the youngest team in the league. Peyton starts it off with Reggie Wayne. Where's it been? Don't you worry. Colts are winning another way in their first few games, but they lead 10-3 now. And a little history. Manning, Harrison, his 100th career touchdown reception. Congratulations. Tied for fifth at this point. Dan, 17-3. It's not only Dwight Freeney. Look at how quick Robert Mathis is in on Steve McNair, Tom. And then Manning back to work up 17-3. The little dump to Edgerrin James. Ed shakes a tackler, and he's in. 8-yard touchdown, 24-3. The Colts at Tennessee. Manning to Harrison, and this sets a couple of marks. Marvin, just the third to have more than 100 touchdown catches. Manning and Harrison, 85 times they've hooked up, tying our Steve Young and Jerry Rice most prolific duo in the history of the game. Roydell Williams, bam! By Bob Sanders. They have more defensive players than people know. Jarrett Payton. Mort tipped us off to this earlier. Jeff Fisher, who was a Bear, a teammate of Walter Payton, his son Jarrett Payton. He looked pretty good, Tom.
How great is that?
Was excellent.
And Fantasy World, shut up.
Yeah, the Colts are fine. So the Colts get 4 touchdowns from Peyton. His brother Eli threw 4. Archie's going to have to pick a winner tonight. And the Colts win at 31-10. And we told you about Marvin Harrison, just Jerry Rice, and Chris Carter have more than Harrison's silly millimeter longer 101, passing Steve Largent and Tim Brown, breaking the tie that he had with the legendary Don Hudson. By the way, T.O. is at 99 as well. Moss just a few behind that. Congratulations to the quiet man of the Colts, who looked awfully good today, Tom.
Yeah,
awfully good.
Absolutely.
And they have a chance. They now play some teams that aren't so stout on defense. Don't be surprised if they're 7-0 in their bye week going into that Monday night game against New England. Meanwhile, no Chad Pennington, no Jay Fiedler. Vinny Testaverde signed 4 days ago, but Brooke Bollinger, a 6th-round pick a few years ago from Wisconsin against the Baltimore Ravens, he trips over Curtis Martin. It's a 6-0 game. But Jamal Lewis fumbles the Jets' best chance on defense. It's a fumble, and Victor Hobson picks it up, and he could go all the way. They're going to go. He's tackled at the 1. Surely, though, from the 1, the Jets can get in. First and goal, it's Curtis Martin. No game. Second goal, Brooks Bollinger rolls out. He's got wheels, and they lose 2 yards. Now, third and goal from the 3. Martin, no.
Remember I told you I had concerns about the offensive line, their ability to run ball. Outstanding defense, but yeah, you got to get it in from the 1, Boom.
They did get a field goal there. The Jets defense tried it, but this is Lewis with a touchdown of 71 yards. And the Ravens over Herm Edwards. I mean, what are they going to do? Will we see Vinny next week against Tampa Bay? You just might. The Jets, eventually they threw for over 100 yards, but for a while they had like 1 or 2 first downs into the third quarter. What really more did you expect? The Orioles and Yankees scored 17-9 on a Tuesday night in Baltimore. The Ravens and the Jets, it was only 13-3 on a Sunday, but the Ravens get their first win of the year. When we return, the Falcons at home, even with Mike Vick sidelined some. How would they dominate Minnesota? Oh, boy. And the Cowboys stayed out west because they were trying to do a Bay Area two-step. Late win against the Niners last week. Could they win at the Raiders this week? We'll show you. You're looking at Larry Fitzgerald, who is a 2-time All-State and Prep All-American receiver at Academy of the Holy Angels High School in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was great then. Then he played at Valley Forge Military Academy outside of Philly. But here he is in Minnesota. I mean, and how are you going to cover all that back then? Average was 25 yards a game then. He's done pretty well since.
Primetime Flashback, brought to you by NikeGridiron.com. You are watching NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
The Dallas Cowboys have played nail-biters all 3 weeks. They are 2-1 against the 0-3, but not playing that badly. Oh, Glenn Reed! Kerry Collins, play action. Going to throw it to, you guessed it, Randy Moss. And Moss, 79 yards on the play. Terrence Newman, nice job.
Well, how often have we seen Randy Moss, great route, good throw, how often do we see Randy Moss get caught from behind? What a great release he gets there, gets into his route. Concentration goes up once he gets downfield with the deep ball, but what a great job of Terrence Newman running him down.
Well, it's kept it to a field goal, but later on, Lamont Jordan with a 2-yard touchdown, and it's 10-0 Raiders. 13-6 in the fourth quarter. Drew Bledsoe hit hard by Bobby Hamilton, incomplete. Next play, you know the Raiders going to bring the heat again, and it's Derek Gibson, and he's tackled behind second base. Still the fourth quarter, it's a 16-6 game. Bledsoe looking left to Patrick Creighton. He gets it. And the Raiders, what? Wrap him up! Pathetic! 63-yard touchdown. And here comes Dallas again late. They've lost late. They've won late. Could they win late this time? 16-13. Chanakonski field goal makes it 19-13. Then Bledsoe, Terry Glenn. Woo! 57 yards. Later in the drive. Tick, 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 tick. 2.5 to go. Julius Jones. 8 yards down to the 3. Second down. Tommy Kelly makes a big defensive play. Third down. Bledsoe looking for Keyshawn. Wrapped up. It sails over. What do we do? 19-13. There's only a minute 49 to go. They're going to go for it. And Terry Glad, it's low and incomplete. And the Raiders are off the schneid. They've won for the first time this year. 19-13. Lamont Jordan ran for 126 yards in this game for the victorious Raiders.
Yeah, a lot of pressure put on Drew Bledsoe, and, Randy Moss came up big. He still seems to be punishing Dallas for passing on him.
He does. But the Raiders win it. Dallas stayed out at the West Coast, but they split these games. They actually won 2 out of 3, but their first 4 games were in California. Here we go with Michael Vick at home with the Falcons, trying to go to 3-1 against Minnesota. Vick rolling left. I don't think they're going to get him, Tom. 23 yards, first down. Later in the drive. Last week we saw Vick not out of the pocket that much as he was a little bit dinged for the Buffalo game. Did I say 23 yards? How about another 23 yards? And then Vick, if he's going to run, you can't watch everybody. And Algie Crumpler thrown nicely to the outside. Touchdown, 7-0 Atlanta, midway through the first.
Yeah, take another look at it. The great play fake. He puts the ball on his hip, hides it for a second, delivers to his favorite receiver, the best Crumpler, Algie Crumpler.
It's 14-0 Falcons. Dante Culpepper picked off by D'Angelo Hall. We saw him in that big Monday night game against the Eagles. Later, second quarter, bad news for the Falcons. Vick, well, ahead of myself here, as Atlanta's in business until here. Vick pulls it in, makes the quick cut. He throws incomplete. He's down in pain. He was hit hard by Erasmus James. Sprained right knee ligament. Oh, we see him later in the game on the sidelines. Didn't look like he was in unbelievable pain, but we don't want to be doctors. So Matt Stump the Schaub is going to play the rest of the game at quarterback. But the Falcons are going to play the whole game on defense. Ron Coleman with a sack on Culpepper, and then rushing. They all run. Warwick Dunn, look at the hole. Look at him go upfield. 37 yards, 21-0. Wow. Later second. Oh, you think Vick's the only quarterback that can run, huh? Stop the shop. Look at him. Vick loves it. Yeah. So get this, Dunn 126 yards, Vick 58 yards, Schaub 56 yards, Duckett 40 yards, team rushing 285. Minnesota, they look horrible. 30-10.
Yeah, Mike Vick 4 for 58, Matt Schaub 4 for 56. So whoever you put in the game, whoever's playing quarterback, whoever's playing running back, they all run the football. New England's got a real test next weekend.
Plus, how about the pass rusher? Culpepper was battered.
Absolutely, 9 sacks.
Well, we all know that Arrowhead is a tough place to play, but the Philadelphia Eagles, once they got this road thing figured out after a year and a half at the helm of Andy Reid, they do pretty well on the road. But you figure, the Chiefs embarrassed Monday night. They were going to come home to Arrowhead to play Philadelphia, and the Chiefs have such a high-scoring offense. Let's go with the highlights from Kansas City as the Eagles with Donovan McNabb hurting. And he says, you know what? I'm playing. You saw the show this morning. Hopefully no surgery here for my sports hernia. But it was the Chiefs that were doing the surgery early. Priest Holmes, 7-0. Roderick Hood. And you don't see the Eagles special teams coughing up much, but to the 25. He fumbles, and Kansas City's in business, already up 10-0. L.J. Smith tries to console him, but they couldn't console this. Slant to Eddie Kennison from Trent Green. 17-0, Tom. And then, remember David Akers out a couple of weeks. Todd, Viva la France. Blocked by Eric Hicks.
Another case of France not doing a thing for us.
They have that habit at times. Later, that's good, Tom. Green intercepted by Sheldon Brown. And the game began to turn right here. 17-6. Although, extra point, you can't blame France for this, Tom. Detmer, they fumbled a snap from Mike Bartram. And it's 17-6 Kansas City late in the second. It just did not look good. And it looked worse right here. Dante Hall. Only France is... No, if France is not going to get it, they're on the Euros now. No Franks. He's gone. Dante Hall with a touchdown. It's 6th return of a kickoff for a touchdown. Tying the NFL mark, Mel Gray, Travis Williams, Gale Sayers, might have heard of him, and Ollie Matson. But here come the Eagles. McNabb to Owens, touchdown, 24-13. They make the kick. Not sure what that is, down 24-13. But we have a game, 24-16. McNabb to T.O. Could he get his 100th today? Nice play down the sidelines. McNabb, play fake. And then Mike Bartram, he's open. Touchdown. 24-22, they go for 2, make it. Then the Eagles make a field goal. France contributing. Hall returning. Don't tell me now it's changed this much. Dante Hall's going to fumble. The Eagles have the ball. So on 3rd and 7, McNabb over the middle. Tip Kendrell Bell. L.J. Smith catches it. Play challenge. Call the catch. First down. Leading to 2nd and goal. Donovan McNabb. The float to L.J. Smith. Touchdown. The Eagles, they come from so far down. They were down, 24-6. The Chiefs aren't done. Dante Hall as receiver. Hauls this in from Trent Green to make it 37-31. Onside kick coming. Reno Mahi makes the recovery. France singing the Marseillaise, kicking a few field goals. And the Eagles come from behind, down by 18 points at Arrowhead, and they win it 37-31 in a comeback of epic proportions. You talk about a bad week for the Chiefs from Monday at Mile High or at Mile High Stadium in Vesco, and now to this one.
Yeah, inability to stop the run against the Denver Broncos on a Monday night, and now you come up against the Eagles at home in Arrowhead. You get the lead, and I think that what's really going to be frustrating for this team is those additions they made. Kendrell Bell, Sammy Knight and company. You expected to play better defense than this against a team that you knew was going to be throwing the football. They were still successful.
And here's a good team, Tom, and you know how tough it is. You played there all the time. Didn't lose their confidence.
No, absolutely not.
They were down 24-6.
Absolutely not.
Stay at it.
That's right. Good ball club.
Did they stay at it? A huge win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And now the Chiefs falling behind Denver and company in the West. Game balls coming up next. You might recognize the family.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Miller, good call. And in part by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. With Visa, you're protected. Primetime Performers, brought to you by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Boomer, my game ball is going to go to Peyton Manning. I can virtually guarantee our viewers this won't be the last time we do this. 4 TD passes, no interceptions. Typical day for one Peyton Manning.
But not so typical day, but it's going to be for his brother Eli. Combined, the Mannings threw 8 touchdown passes. Actually, Archie and Olivia, we're going to give you game balls too, because look at what you brought us here.
For having them.
And look at some of the throws Eli made with touch and then with zip. You know, the Giants have scored the most points in football. Do you know that? The New York Giants. The New York football Giants.
G-Men.
The G-Men, they've scored the most. And still, the Indy, Cincy, Tampa Bay, Washington. Those are the 4 undefeated teams still left. And and the Colts. I think the Colts are getting set to go score a lot of points. 7, 8, no. We'll see. Agree?
I agree. I agree. They set the tone.
Well, and the teams learning how to win. The Cincy's and the Tampas. We thank you for watching this edition of NFL Primetime.